Hey, what up, what up? This your boy Gabriel Willer, and I'm locked in with my bro, Mr. Ferman Jackson Jr. on Walking His Ways Impact Voice. Love your show, bro. Keep it going.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Ways Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Ferman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Walking This Ways Impact Voice Podcast. Today is Tuesday morning. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr., along with co-host Ncaa, Coach Shae, absent, Kenny Primetime Williams, of course. Tonight, title is Chasing My Dreams with our guest, Natasha. Natasha, welcome to Walking This Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And we thank you for taking time to be the skill just to hang out with us, talk about your fitness. And like I said, title of tonight's episode is My Dreams. And I was just looking up the meaning of chase. And what I came across before I got onto the air tonight was pursue in order to pitch or catch with drive or cause to go in a specific direction. Dream, aspiring, ambition, or ideas. And I know you had that on your page a while back. Chasing my dreams. I know that you are chasing your dreams. You are pursuing your dreams. And before we jump into the night's Q&A, I'm going to kick Tom Williams on that. Have the latest news when it comes to the sports world. So Kenny, take it away with the news.
All right. How's everybody doing today in radio land, podcast land? I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad to be back on the air with you guys tonight. We got a lot of things to cover in just a little small amount of time. But before I get started, I would like to give shouts out to Walking in His Way podcast. I like to give shouts out to the state of Texas, Dallas, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Ocean Springs, everybody under the sound of my voice. Welcome. Welcome. You are now in the prime zone. Listen, today, yesterday, day before, even last week, I have been glued to ESPN because I've seen exciting news and I've seen disappointing news. Today, we did have some disappointing news, and I'm going to get to that because it involves my home team. But anyway, we're going to move on forward. Free agency is kicking off to a great and rocky start. We're going to start off before we go to anybody's contract and talk about anybody's business. Guess what? For you Tampa Bay fans, Tom Brady is coming back. He couldn't sit out too long. The GOAT is returning for another season. He quoted that he has a lot to prove on the field, not in the stand. And I understand that being a former athlete myself, you still got a little juice left in the tank. And he wants to get it all out in the field. So I give my salutes to Tom Brady on coming back next year. I'm excited. I know he's going to do great things. And the city of Tampa Bay is in an uproar right now because they're glad to get their quarterback back. Now, not only that, in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers has signed an agreement with the Green Bay Packers. He was going to leave, retire. You know, the speculation kept going on and going on. But he is coming back, and not only coming back, but he has signed a 3-year deal worth $150 million with $60 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money. But there are other quarterbacks that got a little higher in the money deal. Russell Wilson, everybody know him, Sierra's husband, that was playing for the Seattle Seahawks, is headed to the Denver Broncos, will be the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. He is guaranteed, he has signed a 4-year, $160 million with a $95 million guarantee. That is awesome. The Wilson family, look, I take my hat off to you. That's called big hustle. That's called determination, and that is taking care of your bag, securing it for real. Moving on, let's go to the sad part about it. I just can't get it out. I'm been depressed about it all day. Amari Cooper, wide receiver of the Dallas Cowboys, has moved on and left us. I want to cry when I say that. He'll be playing for the Cleveland Browns. I want to say as a Cowboy fan, thanks Amari for everything you did for the city of Dallas, everything you did for the team. I know Cleveland is getting a great player, and they're going to get a great positive energy coming from you. So you will be truly missed, and good luck to you in the upcoming season. But on a very dispute and sad note, I might get a little funny on this one. Randy Gregory, everybody know who he is. He's a defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys, well, was at least. Today, signed a contract with Dallas Cowboys. Then moments later, signed another contract, leaving Dallas, headed to Denver to be a Bronco. Oh my God, I almost wrecked my car when I found this out. And I really think it's a slap in the face coming from a player that Mr. Jones and the Dallas Cowboy organization took a very good chance on him, and he came out to be a very great player, and they offered him $70 million, and he turned it down, and now he's headed to Denver. So as a sportsmanship, I wish him well. I'll see you next year. I can't wait. But anyway, moving on to the NBA, Stephen Curry celebrated a birthday on yesterday, and while he was celebrating on a birthday, he hit 47 points, defeating the Washington Wizards in Golden State. What a night he had. He had his family in attendance. Draymond Green was back. The team was clicking. Playoff time is coming, ladies and gentlemen, in the NBA, and these teams are getting bigger. They're winning games. Everybody's trying to fight for positions. But on last night, Stephen Curry's birthday, he hit 47 points as the Golden State Warriors take on the Wizards, and they beat them 126-112. And Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves put up 60 last night as they beat the San Antonio Spurs. That was an awesome game. He had 32 points in the first quarter, and he dropped off 60 for the evening. So that was an awesome deal. I congratulate to him. The NCAA basketball tournament is on the way. That is called March Madness. For all you ladies and gentlemen that grew up and you turned on NBC, CBS, Fox, all you saw was basketball all day. But this time of the year is coming, a lot of good teams. We have a lot of area South teams as far as Alabama, Mississippi, big up to Jackson State University. They will be playing in the tournament. Mississippi State, Alabama State University will be playing in the tournament. I wish everybody good luck, and hopefully everything will work out in the team's favor. Now, before I leave you, I want to tell you one thing, and it dawned on me today that I always leave something positive for the audience. And what I want to leave to you today is wherever you go, no matter what the weather is, always bring your own sunshine. I'm going to say that again. Wherever you go, no matter what the weather is, you bring your own sunshine. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kenny Primetime Williams. I look forward to seeing you next week. God loves you. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Take it away, Mr. Jackson.
Appreciate it, Kenny. Thank you for letting sports news and updates that's around the world. And once again, we thank everybody for tuning in with us, hanging out with us, of course. Our special guest, Natasha. Before we get started, I'm going to kick it off to the lady of the podcast herself and to see what's up with you, how everything going.
All right. Things are going great over here. Hello, everybody. Is Ncaa, your spending plan specialist, and it's financial planning at your fingertips. I'm so excited to have fitness expert, Miss Natasha, on here with us. So when we're getting ready to start talking about fitness, I want to talk about your financial fitness, right? So we're going to ask her some questions, get to know her, but I do want to take a couple minutes to make sure we're hitting the main points when we're talking about financial fitness. So when you're building your financial house and you're getting your finances in the best possible shape, you're going to start with a savings goal and plan. Please make sure you have 3 primary accounts, which is going to be your emergency fund. Your emergency fund needs to be for things like your car breaking down, your refrigerator stops running, you have to repair something in your home. You don't want to take from your ordinary and monthly expenses. So you want to have something set to the side for emergencies. All right. The second account that you want to make sure you have would be short-term savings. If you're saving for a car, if you're saving for a large purchase that's going to happen within 6 months to 2 years, maybe the down payment on your dream home, maybe sending your little child off to school, whatever that purchase may be for you. It might be your new Corvette, right? You want to have a short-term savings plan in place, okay? And try your best to put it in an account where you can beat inflation. Typically, the cost of living goes up around 3% every year. So you want to make sure you have an emergency fund, a short-term savings fund that's beating the rate of inflation, and then let's talk about long-term savings. We don't want to work when we're old and tired. We want to rest and relax. I envision myself drinking margaritas on the beach for another 20, 30 years after retirement, right? If that is the lifestyle you want, we're going to have to plan for it. So when you are no longer physically able to produce an income, you want to make sure you have enough money set aside to provide for you and your family. So when you're getting your finances in their best possible shape, please make sure you have an emergency fund, short-term savings, and a long-term savings goal. I can't wait for Natasha to give us some tips about being fit as well.
That was awesome.
And awesome, Sauce. Awesome. We thank you once again, Anna, with the latest financial news and updates. And also, I know we're talking about fitness tonight. And tonight, title of tonight's podcast is called Chasing Your Dream. And we want everybody to chase their dream. And I'm looking at the meaning of chasing. What really stood out to me was a specific direction. So I'm going to ask this tonight. What direction is you going tonight? What is the specific direction that you're taking to get to the point where you want to turn your dreams into reality? And we have, I guess, that's a prime example of chasing your dream. Natasha, she was on the podcast when I first was doing on Blog Talk. Well, we was interacting auto now, but now we've seen each other visual here on the podcast. And I'm gonna kick off my first question too. So, Natasha, tell us about yourself for those who don't know you.
Sure, absolutely. Well, hello, everybody, and thank you once again for having me. And it's nice to be able to see you and interact visually, opposed to what we did last time, which was great as well. So thank you so much. So I am 47 years of age. I am a mother of four. My oldest is 30, 28, 26, right down to 13. And I'm also a grandmother of three. I am Canadian born, Guyanese. My mom's from Guyana. My father's from Ireland. However, I live here in Houston, Texas, have been here now for the past 17 years. And fitness, I've been in fitness for quite some time. I just understand it that much more now than I did then. So that's kind of where that's at. As far as where I come from, where I started, where would you like me to kind of jump in and start?
Well, you know how you breaking the ice with getting to know a person, and I know people see you for who you are. What you do with fitness, you it's being intimidating, or just that opening. Like, okay, I'm not a very intimidating person. People may get offended, like not offended but scared, like, oh, she's intimidating. So just what you like to do in your spare time. I know you train a lot of people. I know you're doing the brand. Of course, I know you're very productive. I don't want to say the word busy, but a very productive woman in the industry that you're in.
Well, right now I'm actually getting ready for a show, April the 16th. It'll be my 7th show. We plan this year to go pro. That's the idea. So that has taken up a lot. That takes up a lot of my time. I'm training literally right now 6 days a week. Fasted cardio first thing in the morning, right down to breakfast, then into the gym for about an hour and a half to 2 hours training. And then of course I have to tend to my job thereafter, right? So as far as a personal trainer, I am a personal trainer full time, and then I do run a company called Gingtum, which I'm sure you've seen me post a lot of my product. which supports health and wellness as well. So I'm very active, absolutely. I actually had this conversation with my daughter the other day. I have to learn how to sit and stay sit my butt down and stay there, chill out. I got to learn how to do that because for the most part, once I get home, I work from home, I stay moving until it's time for me to lay my head down. I'm constantly pole training or I'm trying to learn something new, focusing on the core, focusing on the glutes, really trying to perfect my skill in support to what I can do to help others that come to me for support as well. So that's kind of what that looks like. During the day, it gets busy, especially when you're eating 6 meals a day. Feels like that in itself is a job, a job alone. So yeah.
Natasha, how did you get started in fitness?
Okay, so like I mentioned to you, I'm from Toronto. So back in I've been into fitness for some time. I just didn't realize the magnitude or where it was going to take me. Back in Toronto in my early 20s, I would be doing walking lunges in the apartment of where I lived. And then I ended up getting a treadmill and a couple of dumbbells. Really didn't know too much about what I was doing, but I was doing something. And I joined a gym, an all-women's gym, and ended up being an actual trainer back out in Toronto for a short period of time. And then life took over and I ended up moving out here. It was after my last child that I wanted to get back into modeling and needed an outlet, needed something different. And somebody had actually came to me and was like, why don't you try competing? And that's kind of where that all took off. And from there, my very first show, I did bikini. And then from there, I went into figure and I just never stopped. So I've been doing this since I'm 47. I'll be 48 this year. I've been doing this since my 20s. I just have a better understanding in these past years of what it all looks like with education and my certifications and what have you. Of course, I've learned to understand the body and how to manipulate change, whereas before it was really, okay, I'm going to do these lunges, I'm going to do these squats, I'm going to get these results, but not really understanding form, technique, time under tension, pause sets to be able to break the body down, build it up, and then of course incorporating food into the equation as well. So it's been a while. I've been at this for some time.
That's a lot to soak in, and that's a big transition, like going from not having any experience until, like you're saying, learning what to do, what not to do, what to eat, how to do it, form, structure, diet, routine. And so I also liked when you said, I didn't know what I was doing, but I started doing. I think I took a second, I wrote that down because that's powerful. A lot of times we'll stay stagnant instead of taking the first step. You don't have to have it perfect, but you have to get going.
Right.
Like with you learning how to, well, perfect your craft and becoming a trainer, do you feel that you're continuing to learn, or did it happen later on, like year 10, year 5, or was it just continuously getting better?
It was continuously getting better. Now, when I moved out here to Houston and I was introduced to the world of bodybuilding at a competitive level, that's where the interest became more powerful for me. I wanted to know more because I needed to understand what I needed to be doing to do well, right? To get on stage and place. Now, my very first show, I came in 16th place. It was bikini. And from there, I said, you know what? I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more. I enjoyed it that much. I wanted more, but I needed to understand how to get that. So I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. I connected with some bodybuilders, would start asking a lot of questions, was seeking out a lot of information to educate and teach myself And then I went and got certified as a personal trainer to help me understand that much more in support now, not just to my needs, but how I can educate my children and helping them. My son is a personal trainer as well out in Toronto, and he
Wow.
does phenomenally well. Different style of training, but he does very, very well. So, you know, knowledge is power, education is power. The more you know, and I apologize if you're hearing that beep in the background. I got on my laptop and didn't shut the notifications off. And I'm so to learn, I'll know better for next time. But you know, the more information, the more knowledge, the more we know. Let me backtrack. I see a lot of people in the gym training. I see a lot of people going into the gym every single day, doing the same plane of moving in the same plane of motion, doing the same thing, swinging the weights, doing all these different things. And I just want to go up to them and say, listen, let me just show you another way to do this. Not the right way. Let me show you another way to do this to maximize those results, because a lot of people don't know. So what ends up happening is they're going in there, I'm going to do this. They're trying these different things. They end up hurting themselves, or they get discouraged and they fall short and they stop, right? So for me, it's important to understand what it is that I'm doing in support to my goal, but to be able to help you better understand how it works in terms of your body, right? My goal may not be your goal. My goal is to one day walk on the Olympia stage. That's what I want to do, right? Now, that may not be your goal. However, it is still my responsibility to be able to support whatever your goal may be by making sure you understand the proper practices to support that, because this is one body. This is the only body we have, right? So education is really, really important. Understanding what you're doing with your body is very, very important, because it's so easy to hurt yourself and then you're done. Bodybuilding is a sport. Exercise is a form of working out to help keep this body that God gave us in line, right? So we need to understand how to use those muscles, how to breathe, all these different things in support to hitting those goals the right way. So I hope that answers your question. I can kind of run on.
And I mean, that makes
Absolutely.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I know you mentioned earlier you from Toronto, Canada. How was that transition from Canada to the United States?
Oh, it was a transition, all right. It would have been one thing. Okay, so I went from Toronto to Houston. I went from the north to the south, right? So, and my
Right,
husband from Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, so it took me some time to adjust to the dialect, the different way of speaking. We kind of butt heads several times with that. But yeah, it was quite a transition. I think it was more. I used to travel. I frequented Houston quite a bit prior to actually moving out here. I was a director of operations. I come from corporate management. That's where I started before I got into personal training. And I used to run one of the salons out here in Houston. So I'd been out here back and forth. So for me, wasn't too difficult with that transition, because I was already used to the city, but my children, it was a little bit harder for them. My oldest three are back in Toronto. I'm here with my youngest. So, and it's home now. It's home now. So it was quite a bit of a transition from traveling here for work to go back home versus coming here and not going back home, staying. This was now home, right? So
right.
getting used to driving or everything, you got to have a car out here. You can't jump on a bus. You can't get, there's no subway. It was like, and Toronto's like a miniature New York. It's very different. So a lot of differences, but I'm used to it now. I guess it's fair to say I'm officially a Houstonian, a Texan now, right?
Right. Yeah, because I know I heard they said that Toronto is look just like New York City, and that's one place I always wanted to visit was Toronto, Canada. I know it's very popular there as well. And my next question is your philosophy. What is your training philosophy?
What is my training philosophy? Elaborate further. Training philosophy. I never thought about that before. What do you,
Well, but I know everybody has different philosophy when it comes to how they approach things, whether you're business, whether you're an athlete, coach. Everybody have philosophy. Their their main statement when it comes to the things that they do, with
yeah.
working in excellence, being elite, things of that nature.
Yeah. So if I had to speak to, if you were my client, right? Um, the words that I would, what I would say to you as it was said to me is number one, it starts in the mindset in anything you do. All right. It starts with really wanting to make that change or really wanting to do whatever it is that you're setting your mind out to doing. So I would need you to sit down and I really want you to think about your why. Why are you doing this? What is your ultimate goal? For me, it's not just about having a nice physique. At this point in my life, it's the mental clarity that I get from this process, right? So I need you to understand your why. Why are you doing this? And how is this going to impact your life? Because once you have a really good understanding of what that looks like, then there will be no hiccups, nor will there be any distractions, right? It's
Right.
like your coach would tell you, whether it's basketball, baseball, whatever sport you're playing, you need to come focused. You need to come, whatever you got going on, you got to leave it out there. Because when you get on this field or you get in this gym, your focus needs to be in here. In order for that to happen, though, this has to be right? You have to have that
Right.
understanding right here. So I guess to answer that, and I'm sorry, I just was never really asked that question before. What is your philosophy around what it is you do? But with respect to that conversation with my clients is, how bad do you want this? And what changes are you willing to make in terms of sacrifice to achieving that goal for yourself?
Most definitely. And I know with training people, dealing with different personalities on a regular basis, do you cipher between who wants it and who don't want it? And how do you go about that? 'Cause I know you have some people who hype themselves up, but then they don't live up to the expectation.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you know what? And it's okay. A lot of people will come in. Well, consultation. I do a consultation before anything. I'll sit down and have a conversation with you before we even move to the next step because I need to get an understanding of where you're at and what it is that you're trying to accomplish and make sure I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me, right? Because I have a style. I'm very militant when I train. I don't really play around. When you get in
Mhm.
here, this is what's going on, right? Even if
Right.
you're at the beginner stage, because I work with beginners and intermediate and advanced, but if you're at a beginner stage and you're coming in, I just want you to understand you're at this beginner stage and this is where we're going to start, but you need to understand we're going to elevate. And as we elevate, things start changing, right? So you got to come
Right.
with your mindset to that and to that understanding. So, um, there's always that consultation, that conversation before we even move forward to make sure that we're a good fit and make sure that you like what I'm presenting to you and you have a good understanding of what it is that I'm going to do to help you reach your goal.
Yeah, most definitely. 'Cause I know you don't want time wasted. I know, and with you being in the financial arena, of course, you don't want your time wasted when it comes to dealing with individuals. 'Cause you got so much stuff going on, and it's a lot of people who want as bad as you do in order to get to the next level. So, Anna, if you have any questions you want to ask Tasha?
Absolutely. You said some things that stood out to me when you talked about mindset, when you talked about discipline and action. So, if you had to put it in order, what would you say? How would you put it in order if you had to say which is the most important when it comes to mindset, discipline, taking action, and a healthy diet?
Well, it starts with the mindset. right? Because the mind is in control of everything. So once you have your mind locked in to do it, then the discipline and everything else will follow. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
myself, for example, when I said, I'm going to do this, I already had that mindset. I'm doing this. So I already understood once I've tapped in here mentally, then everything else I have no choice but to follow and adhere to. I have to have that discipline if I want to achieve that goal. That comes from the mindset. I have to have the consistency if I want to achieve the goal. It comes from the mindset, right?
Right.
So the mindset is the first. If you don't have that, if you say, oh, I got it, I'm ready to go, and then 2 weeks later, where are your progress pictures? You're not telling me how much water you drank today. Then you weren't mentally ready for that. And you know what? It's okay. Just know that if you're not mentally ready for that, then we got to make some changes here, because I can't be chasing after you when all I want for you is to reach your goal, but you yourself are not mentally ready to get to that place. And it's okay. So the mind, you have to have that mind in check in order for everything else to fall in order.
All right,
Man.
so that means get your mind in check. I also heard Ferman say that you have a brand. I heard you say you do health and wellness. Tell me a little bit more about your business and what you do.
I'm a personal trainer and I run an online coaching business as well. So anybody from all over the world can come on in and I can help support your goals. So that's pretty exciting. But I run a company and it's called Gingtum.com. And the product is Gingtum. It's a natural product, ginger, turmeric, with some other good stuff in there with an undertone, a mango undertone, which is quite nice. And it helps support inflammation, helps to reduce inflammation, helps with the digestive system, works as a detox. It's helped some with acid reflux. Yeah, so I actually came out, I'm really happy about this product, and this is something that I've been putting a lot of my time into. It came out in 2020, midst COVID, and the primary reason for that is I wanted to be able to help people get better. I wanted to help people feel better. I wanted to be a part of making a change with reference to what we were dealing with COVID,
Right.
in terms of helping to help keep people's bodies strong, build up their immune system. So that's where Gingtum originated from. And in doing that, it also helps with weight loss, which has a great benefit for my clients. So any of my clients come on board with me as a client, I don't do a lot of the supplements and the protein shakes. When I write your diet, you get all your protein from your food for the most part. Depending on the situation or whatever your circumstances might be with time, work, what have you. But as far as supplementation, the only thing that my clients take is Gingtum.
So is it,
Oh,
No, go
Kenny
ahead,
got
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, is it a powder or a capsule?
No, it's a drink. It's an actual,
Wow.
yes, it's a drink. You can take 2 to 3 ounces as a shot, or you can actually mix it with smoothie, water, juice, and just drink it first.
Gingtum.
Gingtum. Yeah, go to Gingtum, GINGTUM.com, and
Okay.
you'll be able to see everything there and read all the information that's there and what have you. It's a great product. I've
Most
got
definitely check
Absolutely.
that out.
stuff happening with it right now. I can't say too much. I'm leaving it with the Most High until everything falls in line, but we've been making some pretty awesome progress as far as movement with it. So we will see where everything ends up. But
Awesome.
it's a really nice product. I'm the creator of the product. I'm the chemist behind it. And that's
Okay.
all that I actually drink. I don't do anything else but Gingtum.
That's
Congratulations on that.
impressive. I know Kenny had a question for you.
Yes.
First, I did at first, but no, I'm good. She actually did answer my question. So hey, I'm actually enjoying what she's saying. Great tips she's giving out as well. So, but no, she's already answered my question. So I'm good, you guys. Y'all continue on. I'm listening very thoroughly.
Awesome. And my next question for you, Natasha, is how do you keep yourself motivated and engaged?
Oh my gosh. So first of all, I do have prep brain right now. So if I'm a little bit off, I do apologize with reference to how do you keep yourself motivated. um, gosh, that's a great question. I just keep going. I don't know any other way. You got to keep in mind, I'm in this country with no family but my 13-year-old American born child. I don't have a choice but to keep going. So for me, I just have to, it just has to get done. There really isn't an option. I started young. I was a mother at 16, and then I was a mother again. I'm a mother of 4. So for me, it's just, you got to keep going. You just got to keep going. And I don't understand it any other way. And I believe a lot of that comes from the way I was raised. I was raised by a single woman. My mother's from Guyana, and she raised me tough, let me tell you. There was no playing around. So a lot of, you got to be consistent. You got to have common sense, because we weren't born with that. That's something that you learn as you grow older, right? A lot of these traits were just, this is what it is, Natasha. And I was raised up with this understanding that anything that comes my way with reference to whatever I'm doing or any types of challenges, I just got to work through it and keep moving, because there's no other way but to keep pushing forward.
That's it.
So with respect to keeping motivated, if I don't get up and move, nothing's going to get done. So I just get up and I just have to keep going. Now, it's not easy for a lot of people. We're all different. We all do things differently, absolutely. But it's just an understanding of where it is you see yourself and what is it that you're wanting as far as your goals, and what are you going to do to get to that point, right?
Right. And I agree with that totally. I know you hear people always talk about they got haters and things like that, but a lot of times our biggest enemy is ourselves. We get in our own way. We get into our feelings. We don't, one day I'm going to do it, next day I'm not going to do it. But then you mentioned something, staying consistent, and you got no choice but to keep moving forward. Like Nipsey Hussle said, the marathon continues. We can leave this world today and tomorrow. Life still gonna keep going on without us. So I agree with that 100% on what you're saying. I know you do a lot of training as well. So what are the best between, I know you train males as well as females. So what has been the best clientele when it comes to the male and female when you train them?
Well, I like to train the men because I can yell at them. I've got a very militant style, and that ain't no lie. I'm sorry, fellas, that ain't no lie, but all in good.
That's a real good one. That's a good one. That's a good way.
I like working with my female clients because, of course, I'm a female, I'm a mother, and their bodies tend to change. Our bodies as women, provided that you're doing what you're supposed to do, tend to change a lot faster with certain things, with reference to diet, what have you. So I do enjoy working with my lady clients. I don't have a whole lot of male clients. I've had a couple over the time, but primarily my lady clients. I build relationships with my clients as well, right?
Right.
So I'd have to say, and the majority of my clientele, for the most part, I'd have to say 80% are mid-30s plus.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're moms and whatnot. So I like my ladies.
Yeah, because I follow you on Facebook. You do a lot of intense work. You're very consistent in what you're doing, and we applaud you because you are chasing your dream. You have turned your dream into reality. And when it comes to training, I know you mentioned something about being militarian. That's something that we need in this generation. Not having no yes people around us telling us what we want to hear, but you telling people what they need to hear in order to get the results they're looking for, because you don't want to waste their time. No, you don't want your time wasted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm pretty straightforward. I don't take anything personal. I've gotten to a point in my life that I just don't take anything personal. So but at the same time, I need to be mindful of speaking with other people, and we need to be respectful at all times, right?
Right.
But I'm going to be very honest, and I just let you know, listen, this is what it is. This is what you're paying me to do to help you. So tell me what your expectations are, and let's remember what those expectations are that you shared with me, because I want to help you get there, right?
Right.
So when I am very militant in that regard, it's typically with respect to my training style. I'm going to push your limit, whether it's virtually, because I do the virtual training as well, just in the same platform that we're in right now. I do the
Okay.
virtual training, and then I also, of course, in-person training. And I'm going to push you safely as far as I can, because I know that you can do it.
Right.
I don't believe that you can do it for safety issues with the knees, whatever. I'm already going to know this throughout our consultation and throughout me being able to assess throughout the couple of sessions that we had what I can and cannot do with you, right? But I'm going to still have my hand down with you, because the objective is to get you strong so that we can elevate you to the next level, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of that militant hand is more so, listen, this is what we're doing. I'm going to help you get there. Let's work together. Okay. And let's get this. If you can do 5 push-ups, then give me 6. If you can do 6, then give me 8. I'm going to just keep pushing you and pushing
Mm.
you. And that's really where that comes from.
I love that type of style because that's something I'm very accustomed to. Seeing results. You
Yes.
study the greats and you come to training. And I know Anna probably have a question. I'm asking Anna, are you military too? When you come to you training your clients and training people that's under you, you ain't military?
No, I come from a military family, and when it comes to your finances, it's a lot different than training your body.
Yeah.
We use our muscles in a lot of different ways, your mind muscles, your physical muscles. And so my style of leadership is this is a good one. There is a difference in coaches, and it's about the level of accountability. So if you had a life coach, it's not their responsibility to change your life. They're really put there to help you work to your full potential and to help you stay accountable, but they don't force you to, right? And so, as a physical trainer, her job is way tougher than mine because it is more physical, it is more demanding of the person to actually commit to action. So, when it comes to your finances, I can tell you the right things to do. I can tell you how to do it, when to do it, what to do. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the individual to commit, take action, and remain consistent. And so I feel no way if you don't do right. I'm just here to give you the information. But I did have a question when you talked about working with people. And I think Ferman said something about seeing results. With the society we live in today, we live in, I like to call it a microwave society. And it's like everybody wants everything, boom, instantly. They want to zap it and see results. I want to be rich today. I want to be fine today. I want to hit my goals today. But in reality, we don't receive things like a microwave. So, what would you say realistically when someone starts working with you? How long would they train with you before they start noticing some results? Is it weekly, monthly? Like, what would the time frame be if you actually committed, they started training with you before they would start seeing some results?
You'll actually start feeling better on different levels, energy wise, strength wise, literally within 4 to 6 weeks, provided that you stay consistent. However, with respect to a transformation, I will say, and it all depends on your body type. There's different variables that play factor to that, right? I would say anywhere from 3 months, 3 to 12 months. You got to make that commitment from 3 to 12 months, or even 6 to 12 months, depending on what your goal is. However, as far as feeling an actual change, you will notice a change literally within 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on your body type, your level of activity, and where you're at. I've had clients come on board because I do meal plans as well. I had one client lose 15 pounds of water weight within 3 weeks
Wow.
that her body was retaining, right? So it all depends on the individual and what they have going on. And then it all depends on what you're doing when you don't see your trainer, right? So with reference to what you just shared, it's a lot of it is the same. I'll provide the tools for you because I can only do so much when you're actually with me. But when you're not with me, I don't know what you're doing. But remember this, when you're not with me, if you're not doing your part, you're cheating yourself.
You know, I'm so
that's-
glad we addressed that, because a lot of times people will get a trainer, they'll go to a session,
Yes.
they'll go for a week, okay, they'll go for a month. And so I don't think we talk enough about saying, if you really want to see some results, you should be prepared to stay consistent for at least, I think I'm really glad that you said that, so you could possibly start feeling it within yourself 3 to 4 weeks and possibly seeing results transformation wise in your body 6 months to a year. So it really takes you being very committed, like being all in. I know a lot of times people want to lose weight, and of course I hear it all the time, being with a smaller frame. And when people say, oh, you're working out, why are you working out? But what would you recommend for someone who possibly wants to gain, but in a healthy way? Because how often do we hear our family and friends say, just eat more? That is the worst advice to give someone.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that. I'll use myself as a prime example. And I actually just onboarded a client that came to me and said, Natasha, I want a bigger booty.
Me too.
That's fun. I can definitely help you achieve that goal. However, to achieve that goal, we have to increase your calories. But in order for us to do that, we need to do what's called a clean bulk. It doesn't mean that you go out and eat whatever you want to eat. It means
so no collard greens and cornbread.
Well, maybe a cheat meal. Right, but then
Ain't no double cheeseburgers going on, huh?
No. But it also depends on what are you doing? What's your level of activity like? How often are you working out? And there's a lot of different variables, once again, that plays a part. Like for example, my body type, I was very petite. I came from having a very petite to having all this muscle on my body, right? However, I achieved these goals with a clean bulk. But let me tell you, my body loves dirty carbs. You start fueling me up with dirty carbs, my body will just swell up. Now it's going to fill out those muscles and give me that nicer fullness to my body, where with others, it may not work the same. So a clean bulk accompanied with some good exercise, whatever your goal is, you will definitely see the result that you're looking for.
You say eat clean bulk?
A clean bulk. So eating clean.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely collard greens may not be so bad. You just want to be mindful of the amount of sodium. Remember, sodium holds on the body. You retain fluid that shows on the scale and is mistaken as fat, when in fact that's not what that is. That's just fluid the body's retaining. We typically carry or hold anywhere from 55 to 65% fluid. It's in our organs, it's in our muscles, right? As women, we usually carry it from our core down. We see it in our hips. We see it in little women get the the flabbiness there, fluid in there in their upper back. So you want to be mindful of the amount of sodiums that you're taking in. So some people will think, oh, this is clean and this is healthy and this is good. But in actuality, it's a lot of sodium in there that you don't see that in the morning, right? You're gonna see that on the scale. So it's really understanding what food looks like and how it supports whatever that goal is, again, and not doing the opposite, right? So taking a small frame like myself, I just took on a client and we're doing the opposite of what most of my clients come to me for, being weight loss. She wants to gain weight. So right now, everything she eats 5 meals a day, and it's clean, higher calories, but it's clean food. Carbohydrates, we're looking at jasmine rice. We're looking at sweet potatoes, not hamburgers and pizza, no pasta, stuff like this, right? Yeah, so yeah, pasta's lovely, but too much of it, you know, you got to keep in mind the starch and all that extra stuff that comes with it that can slow you down, make you lethargic, make you tired, these types of things. So really understanding the food is really a big part of the entire process. Hence that rule, that 80-20 rule. What is the 80? The 80 is how you eat. The 20 is what you do in the gym. And that in itself is legit. That's real. So my body, I've grown. I just actually joined a new team and I've been with them now, goodness, almost 8 weeks. Yeah, almost 8 weeks. And the changes already in my physique are phenomenal in these 8 weeks because of how they have me eating. Not because of my style of training, because of how I'm eating. That's been very different from what I've done before. So the food part is very important for sure. Understanding your macros, how much protein, how much carbs, very, very important. Very big deal.
And I know women, they want to have the bigger booty and stuff like that when it comes to working out. When it comes to men, I know men want to build their chest, so they want to get rid of man boobs and their belly, of course. How do you implement that when it comes to training the males?
That's diet.
Summer coming up. Want to take the shirt off in June.
Right, but it's all back to diet. So I can tell you, go in the gym and knock out a whole bunch of chest presses, right? I can write you an entire program strictly for your upper body, okay? And you be in the gym, killing it in the gym, doing all these workouts and you feel good, you feel strong, but you don't see a big change. Why? Because your diet is not where it should be.
Yep, you left that gym and went to Wendy's and got that Baconator.
That 4 for 4.
Yeah, that 4 for 4.
Really need to clean up the way you're eating, and then you will see all those magnificent gains that you've been working so hard on, for sure.
So let's get just getting out the whole entire conversation with you, Natasha. Not deceiving ourselves. I know the Bible said that we can deceive ourselves, and that's why I get out there. We can easily deceive ourselves if we're not doing what we're properly supposed to be doing. Like, you give the great advice, you give the plan, but it's up to the individual to follow through with that plan in order to see the results they want. In other words, you can't do it for them. They gotta want to do it for themselves. That's why I just got out the whole entire conversation with you tonight.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But you got to understand what you're doing, right? A lot of people will just jump in and start doing because they saw Tom, Joan, and Jane over there doing it, so they're just following after. Don't follow. Be a leader. Be a leader of yourself, right? And lead by understanding what it is that you're wanting to understand and support to what your goal might be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So follow after other people. If I was following after other people, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I'm a bit of a loner, for a lot of reasons, because I understand in order to get to those next levels, you got to make a lot of changes. And a lot of those changes come from really understanding, number one, myself, having a full understanding of who I am and what it is that I need to be doing in support to my goal, and not everybody understands that. So really don't follow after other people. Lead by what it is that you want for yourself and seek out the knowledge. There's so much you got, and it's free. YouTube is free, Google is free, books are free, Audibles. I have a whole list of, books in my Audibles that I listen to every single day in support to my goals and helping me deal with my struggles as well and overcoming things that I need to overcome in order for me to be able to continue advancing. Right? So,
Man, that's what's up right there. And you have anything you want to add, implement?
Wow, that was really powerful, that last part that you said. And I'm going to tell you what I was envisioning as I was listening to you say, don't do what you see everyone else doing. You want to beat your own path. And so I'm envisioning being in the gym. And she said, you see them over there, and you're emulating what they're doing. So Kenny's over there bench pressing, lifting weights. And so I say, okay, I want a bigger booty. I'm going to go and do what he's doing. Right. And then we talked about earlier how people quit because they don't see the results. They say, this ain't working. This is stupid. And they stop. They don't remain consistent. They give up. They didn't see the microwave reaction that they want. Right. But meanwhile, while you're emulating what someone else is doing, that is not your vision.
right.
That is not your purpose, right? And so the reason it's not working for you because that is not your mission or your calling. So instead of doing what you see other people do,
Yes.
you got to get in there and find the system, find the program, stick to the vision that was intended for you. And the results will come. The results that you're seeking comes from when you get in tune with your destiny. So don't emulate what you see everybody else doing. You got to get laser focused on your own goals. And when you get focused on your own goals, that's when you're gonna see those results, baby. That's when it's gonna all come into place.
I love that. I love
That's right.
I love how you took what I said and you opened it up like that. That was beautiful. Absolutely. You don't know how others got to where they are. Right? Never look at I don't have the only idol I have is God, number one. The only person that I look up to is God. Somebody asked me the other day, so if so and so came in front of you, you wouldn't want to talk to them? I said, why? You wouldn't tell them about Gingtum? I said, if it came up in conversation, because I don't need to go out of my way. Oh my gosh, you're so and so. Well, I have this. No, I don't need to do that. If it's God's will and it's His time, it will happen the way it's supposed to. I don't need to follow after. I don't need to force. I don't need to chase. I don't need to do any of that. The only chasing I need to do is chasing after my mindset in support to how I'm being led with respect to my goals and my dreams and my future for my family. Right?
That's it.
So, yeah.
So in other words,
Natasha, you have been great. I want you to tell everybody how we can get connected with you. Make sure you share all of your social media platforms. Tell us your website again, because I want to get me some gym time, right?
Yes.
Got it, Gingtum. I gotta get me some, and then I gotta start following you so I can work on getting that bigger booty, gaining some healthy weight. So I'm gonna cut back on the cheeseburgers and the pasta. I don't think I can give it up 100% yet. But how can we stay connected with you?
Absolutely. So Gingtum, it's GINGTUM.com is the website where you can go to get the natural daily drink. And then NRY Lifestyles with an S on the end.com is my actual training website. You can go there and it's pretty fun and pretty interactive. I'm also on Facebook under my name, Natasha Yancey. Then you can also follow me on Instagram. It's Natasha_47_CPT. And then I have a TikTok, but I'm not going to share the TikTok.
Give it to us when we start recording. I'll give you mine.
Personally, I do a lot of stuff on there. That would be more my, you got to have a little bit of fun, and that's kind of my little bit of fun. So, but yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And I know you mentioned earlier you got a competition coming up as well.
April
how can
16th.
we support you in that? I know sponsorship wise, how can we support you in your fitness competition that's coming up?
Oh, I appreciate that. Sponsorship wise, there's always room for sponsorship, that's for sure. That's probably something we can discuss off air, but yeah, I don't have a GoFundMe or anything. My daughter actually said, "Mom, you should start a GoFundMe." I'm like, "Oh no, I want to do all that." But I don't. It's interesting that you asked me that. It really is, because I had actually sent out some sponsorship. That's a whole different area that's very new to me. I've actually just, without saying too much, I have a sports manager that's picked me up that wants to manage.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not getting too excited just yet.
Right.
Will we see, sir, I don't really get excited about stuff until dot the I's and the T's and all that stuff. But, I'll learn more as far as how that all works. But with respect to sponsorship, there's always support that could be used for sure, as far as entrance fees and NPC card. It's a very expensive process. That I have this far pretty much have incurred on my own. I do have one sponsor that takes care of my food. But with respect to entrance fees and that kind of thing, yeah, I would definitely, any help is helpful. Anything is helpful. So.
And this is up right there. And that's awesome.
Kenny, do you have anything?
I don't have anything, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this tonight was a great show. Very good information that was given out tonight. Fitness wise, I pay close attention because I too, I'm struggling with trying to get myself back fit and everything. But I think for the most part, baby steps is what I'm going through and what I'm doing. So I'm doing that gradually, but I understand the concept when you said in a few weeks after being consistent that you'll start seeing results. So my baby steps going to start turning to little toddler steps and going on to bigger steps. So I appreciate the information you're giving out tonight. Thank you so much.
Yes, remember this. You only got one body.
Right.
You don't take care of that body, it starts falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
You don't got to train and do what I do. I do what I do because I love the sport of, competitive bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
You only got one body. And I see this a lot. I went to the doctor. The doctor said I should be doing this and I should be doing that, and we don't do it.
Right.
So remember, you only got one mind, you only got one body. When the body,
one mind, one body.
This
Absolutely.
Hindered, right? Take care of it. It doesn't have to be going in there and ripping all these chest presses and doing all that stuff. But take care of your body. It wants to move. It wants to move. Take care of it and love on it. Right?
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely.
And also, that was up right there. Thank you, Natasha. Once again, take your time to read the schedule. The hangout was, of course, here on tonight's podcast. We thank everybody for tuning in. The replay will be up on our YouTube channel. So check us out next Tuesday night, same time zone here, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, 5 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. And you hear extraordinary stories just as Natasha herself and many others that come to here on the podcast. We want everybody to have a great night. Stay positive. Remember, you got one mind, you got one body. Take care of it. Take care of it. Say it again. Take care of it. When you're chasing your dreams, know what direction you're going into. Be inspired. stay ambitious, and most importantly, stay focused. We love each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay focused. Thank you, Natasha, once again. Big shout out to everybody here on the podcast. Kenny and Ncaa. Also, big shout out to Coach Shae in her absence. We love you. And we'll see you next week here on Walking His Ways in That Was Podcast. Remember, the replay will be up on our YouTube channel. Peace, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.